Welcome back, guys. A quick update there at 12:48, 42 seconds. Todd Smith made his way through Bundooma. So Todd Smith, that top 8 are all through at this stage. Next one on the grid, in the way that they came off the grid, was actually Nathan Trigg. So Nathan Trigg, we would assume, would have quite that delay as we were speaking about earlier. So Caleb Orrick, Luke Hayes, Sam Davies, who we're trying to track down now and find out how far away they are. We'll get back to you soon. Welcome back. We've got a couple of updates, and that is that Luke Hayes and Sam Davey have checked into Bunduma almost simultaneously. Actually, it was about 15 seconds difference between them at 12:53 and 33 seconds for Hayes. Sam Davey at 12:53 and 48 seconds. That's interesting because that then puts the shadow on Nathan Trigg and Caleb Ulrich. Now, we knew that Nathan Trigg wouldn't be showing up for another 5 or 6 minutes at least, but Caleb Ulrich seems to have slipped back down through the field as well. So Hayes and Davey at this point have passed Caleb Ulrich and Nathan Trigg. And the next guy we'd be looking for is Ricky Lane and Jake Smith, Ryan Cossins, Jack Simpson, Mark Grove, and Kent Collins and Kenny Armstead. Josh Tilbrook's up there as well. So hopefully we'll see something from those guys very, very soon. We'll be back shortly. Caleb Ulrich has just checked in to Bunduma, 12:59, beg your pardon, 12:55, 59 seconds. So just before 4 minutes to 1, he was able to check in there. So that just leaves that gap there to Nathan Trigg. And Toby Price has just checked into Mount Squires at 12:56 and 29 seconds. Well and truly out in his own. So let's just do a little bit of quick math here. Prior to this, at Bunduma, he had opened up a gap of 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And we're going to see if that opens up a little bit more now once they get to Mount Squires. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Within about 3 minutes, we should be talking to you about Damon Stokey's entry into Mount Squires. And there's that last run through to Finke. We'll be back with you shortly.
Oh, Tuffy.
Ryan Cossins seems to be on quite a charge at the moment. He has just checked into Bundooma. We can also say that Nathan Trigg has gone through as well. So looks like he may have actually made up a little bit of time there, Nathan Trigg. He's checked in there at 12:58.01. And we'll also see there may be some other updates there as well. But Ryan Cossins has come through. He's done really, really well. So that means that he has got past Jake Smith and Ricky Lane at this stage, according to these transponder reports that we're getting through at the moment. You need to keep in mind that we keep these as unofficial results because transponders at the end of the day are simply just a matchbox sized plastic thing that's attached to your bike that could go missing, certainly on a track like this. And so obviously we have physical timers that are actually there to back that up to make sure that we aren't resting completely on that. So Jack Simpson has just got into Bundooma apparently as well. We'll just go down and have a look at that. Yeah, Jack Simpson's just checked in there at just less than 1 minute to 1.
Like 6 seconds apart at Bundooma.
Yeah, right, okay. There is quite a gaggle there just coming out of Bundooma now, so...
Damon Stokey at Mount Squires.
Okay, and look at this. Ty Simmons and Damon Stokey are 7 seconds apart, beg your pardon, 9 seconds apart at the moment. They've just checked into Mount Squires, so 3 seconds past 1, Damon Stokey has checked in, and then... Actually, beg your pardon, it's round the other way. Ty Simmons has passed Damon Stokey. Ty Simmons has passed Damon Stokey and has 7 seconds on him at the moment. So we need to probably stay on this and keep you updated. Wow, what a race this is. So really, that's pretty impressive when you consider that Ty Simmons started 1 minute behind Toby Price and is 3 minutes and 20 seconds behind him now. Kent Collins has just got into Bundooma. Nice work from him. He left on the 11:38 shift alongside Mark Grove and has got in just at about 1 minute past. So we'll start to see those extra numbers come in now. Man, this is really starting to heat up, isn't it? And Toby Price is staring down the barrel of making it number 5, at least be number 5 of his early entries in. That's a really, really massive concept to get your head around, isn't it? We'll keep you up to date. Yep, we've got one more through. David Walsh has just checked in through Mount Squires. So that was at 1:29 past 1. 1 minute and 29 seconds past 1. So let's do a little bit of calculation here. That means that he is 1 minute and 26 behind Damon Stokey. And he left 2 minutes after him. So he is making ground. He's got about 30 seconds up. So according to these calculations, I am thinking that David Walsh is actually potentially second quick here at the moment. So again, I did not go particularly well at math, but until we get those outright numbers through, that is what we're thinking at the moment. David Walsh could potentially be looking at second quick behind Toby Price at the moment. We will get back to you with any other updates very soon. So I might just give you a little bit of an update on some of the DNFs. Disappointing, JVV is out. Jake Van Vliet, unfortunately, didn't make it in, along with Darren Griffiths, actually. Jake Van Vliet didn't make it to the second stop, unfortunately. Yeah, he was out. He did not make it into deep well. Neither did Darren Griffiths, apparently. Toby Tidswell is also listed here as a DNF. Bradley Slater, Walter Woolnor, and Simon Bromble also are guys who have not been able to get through to their next checkpoint. So no reports of any massive incidents at this stage, so I think they're all okay, just not being able to make it past that point. Oh, now we have, yeah, Ivan Long has, we're just waiting on Ivan Long. Has Ivan Long just checked in, has he?
Yes.
He has. Ivan Long and Bo Ralston have just made it in, 5 seconds apart, have made it into Mount Squires at 1:04.29 and 1:04.24 respectively. So Bo Ralston's got past Ivan Long. And Jacob Smith has got in there at 6 seconds past, 4 minutes past, if you get what I mean, 1:04.06. So he's going to have those guys breathing down his neck at the moment. There's going to be quite a gaggle coming into Finke. It'll be very interesting to see that race between Jacob Smith, Ivan Long and Bo Ralston, who have squashed right up. The interesting thing about that is Long and Ralston, of course, left behind Smith, 2 minutes behind him. So Jacob Smith seems to be getting a little bit swallowed up by it all here at the moment, may have experienced some sort of mechanical issues. of a jump down, further down the field. Nick Turner has just leapfrogged, I think, a ton of riders. He's got past Josh Tilbrook, Mark Sladek, William Turner, Rodney Faggoter, Megan Rutledge and Jerikai Andrews in getting into the next checkpoint there at Bundooma. So Nick Turner is on an absolute charge at the moment. Keep our eyes on him. We're also keeping our eyes on Megan Rutledge and that very, very quick time that we saw from Jerikai Andrews out of nowhere yesterday as well. Just a young guy who really is a picture of the future of this sport, and particularly the picture of this race in the future. So for those of you who've just joined us, we know that the top 7 have made it through to Mount Squires. We'll keep you up to date, but just updating that for you. Nick Turner was the big mover there. We've also just seen Mark Sladek make it through into Bundooma as well. He must have got past Josh Tilbrook. And so Jerikai Andrews, Megan Rutledge, Rodney Faggoter and William Turner still there and trailing behind Nick Turner, who's on a charge at the moment. So Todd Smith's just made it into Mount Squires as well. There's another guy who's on a charge not too far and actually left at the same time as Nick Turner. That's Brandon Keenhoos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Brandon Keenhoos. So he has also got past Jerikai Andrews, Megan Rutledge and Rodney Faggoter and Will Turner at the moment as well. No change, no additions apart from Todd Smith up there at Mount Squires, getting into Mount Squires at the moment. So it looks like Nathan Trigg and Caleb Ulrich are getting a little bit caught up in it all. So the guy there, we're going to keep our eyes on, Sam Davey. He may look pretty decent there as well. We'll be back very, very soon. See if we've got anything else for you. It's just that 50-kilometre run down to Finke now for the boys, the top 7 at least, and we should be getting some information through, not too far away from there. Faggoter. A little bit of a mover, a little bit further down in the pack too is Andrew Gillam, who has just checked into Bundooma as well. And that means that he has got past some decent names there. Jeff Dray, Shane Carlson, Lloyd Willman, Hayden Brown, Toby Hedricks, Isaac Glidden, Billy Barry as well, James McCarthy joining that little bit there. Samuel Tilbrook still has been checked in, but Jerikai Andrews has checked into Bunduma. So that means that in that group there around that left at around 11:40, Will Turner, and we haven't seen from Megan Rutledge at this point now. Sam Davey has just checked in to Mount Squires.
Luke Hayes.
And Luke Hayes.
Squires at 1.
Luke Hayes as well. So Luke Hayes is only 8 seconds behind. So Sam Davies got past Luke Hayes as well on the Sherco. He's done well to do that. So they are pretty much that next batch that are coming through. As we said earlier, the only people that they've leapfrogged there is Nathan Trigg and Caleb Ulrich, who we knew had obviously dealt with some sort of issues as a result of that. So we'll keep them coming. We can't be too far off from seeing some names come up on that list now for outright. Simon Jones just got into Deep Well. We're getting the report. Lloyd Woolman into Bunduma. Dave Campbell into Redinga. Billy Barry and William Turner. And Megan Rutledge is into Bunduma. Ryan Cossins has done the leapfrog on Jake Smith and Ricky Lane and has just checked into Mount Squires. And Luke Hayes, Caleb Orrick and Nathan Trigg have all checked in. That's good news. We were concerned about them going a little bit backwards there, so that is excellent. So still waiting on Jake Smith and Ricky Lane. Jake Smith, not to be confused with Jacob Smith, who checked in a heck of a long time ago, is probably sitting around third or fourth quick in the overall breakdown at the moment. So we are just waiting for that golden word of Fink to come up on our checkpoint list. As soon as we see that, we'll know we're in business and we're in that final part. Only 50 kilometres between those last two checkpoints. Can't be too far away.
Yeah, he's got to be so close.
And he has reached the finish, ladies and gentlemen. 13:23:31. Toby Price has made it in at a total elapsed time of 1 hour, 53 minutes and 19 seconds. The defending champion is in fine form, so the numbers are going to start coming to us now to find out how they will line up for tomorrow's exit from the Apachula community. Andrew Miller, Derek Woods, Glenn Watson, they have just gone through their respective checkpoints of Redinga and Deepwell. Ryan James into Bundoomba as well in the meantime. So how much of a gap is there going to be back to who I'd assume is going to be Ty Simmons next to come through the 50Ks? So much can happen. Just fascinating to see how this all plays out. We'll be back soon to tell you who's next through the gate. Wow, almost there it is, 38 seconds past. So it looks like Ty Simmons was second through. He got past Damon Stokey. And somewhere along that, I was looking at the refresh, but we missed it somewhere along the line. Maybe it took a little bit of time on the transponder to register, I'd say, because 33 seconds difference between Ty Simmons. So let's look at those times. 1:53.19 for Toby Price. The next quickest is the 1:55.53 of Ty Simmons. And nobody's going quicker than those guys because they're the guys who've been really leapfrogging everyone. Then it's a 1:57.25 total time for Damon Stokey. So it's 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, Toddy, of Toby being ahead of the closest in Ty Simmons. And it's just really is considerable difference, isn't it, over that amount of space.
He's an amazing rider. It's pretty impressive what he can do on that bike. I mean, both Ty Simmons and Damon Stokey are brilliant riders as well.
In their own right, absolutely are.
it's pretty impressive. But I think those standings are probably going to stay where they are, considering where those guys left at the start.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that these top runners, these guys that are really pushing the envelope with their bikes and really stretching out there and risking it all, have come through unscathed, which is great.
Yeah, it is. That's really, really good report, actually. I think David Walsh is the guy that we're really, really keen to see how he's going to go now. And there he is, as we speak, 1:57.07. That means that his total elapsed time is 1:57.07, which makes him second quick at the moment. That puts him 18 seconds quicker than Damon Stokey. Beg your pardon, he's third quick.
Third quick, yeah.
Third quick. Ty Simmons is still second quick at that 1:55.53 elapsed time. Big gap. That's a big handicap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Off the line to come back. 2 minutes, giving 2 minutes away to those guys.
Yeah. I mean, take that back. I thought they would have stayed where they were, those positions, but he's jumped in there, David Walsh. It's great to see that he's really pushing hard as well. It's definitely going to be a very interesting race tomorrow with all these top guys finishing.
So we may see a little bit of a flurry of bikes come in now, because looking at their last checkpoints, given that there was that gap, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Jacob Smith. Does he get swallowed up by Todd Smith? We know that Bo Ralston got past him in theory. We know that Ivan Long got past him in theory as well. There it is. Mount Squires has just had another couple through. And Nick Turner.
We wake on Jacob Smith there. Has he come through? No, he hasn't. He's not through yet.
And you see there, if you go back to Mount Squires, you can see how there was that about a 4-minute delay there between him. He had quite a bit of space between him and Ty Simmons, who he left with. So there was obviously some sort of deal going on for Jacob Smith.
So far, rounding out the top four, we have Toby Price, Ty Simmons, David Walsh, Damon Stokey that have come through to Finke.
It's just that 18 seconds difference between David Walsh and Damon Stokey. Good effort by Walsh. Really, really good effort. We'll see as they come through and check off. Long list now to get through. Mark Grove has just made his way into Mount Squires. And we said Nick Turner earlier. Man, there's a massive backlog there at Redinga, isn't there? There is tons of guys coming through there all at the same time. That's like a wolf pack there, isn't there?
There is. They're
that
so
is
close
full
together.
There is 8 riders all packed within about 20 seconds of each other, 30 seconds.
I reckon that'd be pretty dusty to be in that
I
group.
can imagine that dust at the moment. That would be phenomenal. Michael Perham there has just got into a Redinga as well, all hoping that he had a tear off, I reckon.
Man, it's going to be a long race for those guys if they stay together like that.
My word, sandblasted, you'd have to think. Jacob Smith finally gets through.
And he has come in, and he's in position 5 for finishing at Finke there.
Yeah, so he just outside of the 2-hour barrier. He goes 2 hours, 1 minute, 26 seconds. So the top 4 did it in under 1 hour. The first of our outside of that are in here. We'll see if anyone's able to make it under that. The only one I would be thinking after his improvements earlier, yeah, would have been maybe Sam Davey, but Sam's not going to be in that zone, is he? So I think the guys to be able to do it in under 2 hours are locked in by mathematical equations here, and it's just going to be a sense now of the rolling in. A couple just came into Mount Squires. Ivan Long has just made it into Finke. And he's done it actually quicker. He's just missed out on getting under that 2 hours. 2 hours and 53 seconds to be exact. So he's actually jumped up and got across the line before Jacob Smith as far as his outright time. He's got in at 13:33. just 26 seconds, 28 seconds, beg your pardon, after Jacob Smith has got through.
Ivan Long, not bad for a John Deere service technician.
Hey, there it is. No pro rider there. It's, pro in his approach, but not pro as far as the true technical term of I'm paid to do this.
Yeah, it's amazing. And a lot of these guys, like Ivan Long hails from Canalpin originally in South Australia and down the southeast.
Bo Ralston has just made his way into Finke at 13:37 and 36 seconds, giving him a net time of 2:04, 2 hours, 4 minutes and 24 seconds. So there you see that quite sizable gap there of 3 minutes back to that next batch, who just didn't keep right up with those the front runners. So Bo Ralston, the quicker of those guys to get in. As a result of that, it's still in relative order, apart from David Walsh doing a little bit of a switch around there and Ivan Long as well, but the first 7 are in as the first 7 and the way they left. Todd Smith has just made it into home, 13:41 and 50 seconds. He's just clicked in there. Total time for him, and we're starting to see these really start to spread out now with these elapsed times, 2.0838, 2 hours, 8 minutes and 38 seconds there for Todd Smith.
Bank, Luke Hayes.
Now we've seen a little bit of a gap. Luke Hayes has just checked in with a total time of 2 hours, 9 minutes and 14 seconds. He has leapfrogged Caleb Orrick and Nathan Trigg. We knew that that was going to happen. It's going to be interesting now to see Sam Davey. How far away is SD on that Sherco? It's interesting because he left at the same time as Luke Hayes and got into Mount Squires earlier than Luke. But Luke has just checked into Finke. So what does that mean for Sam Davey? Caleb Ulrich has finally made his way in. 2 hours, 13 minutes and 39 seconds in total there for Ulrich. So we're just waiting on Nathan Trigg. Now, if you look back and do a little bit of a forecast there, there's about a minute and 30 difference between Ulrich and Nathan Trigg at that last stop. So we should hear from them very, very soon. But Sam Davey, at this stage, we've not seen him check into Fink, despite the fact that he was very much around the same territory in the GPS as Luke Hayes. So hopefully he's able to get going again, and whatever mechanical issue that Sam has faced there, he'll be able to get around again.
So that gives us our top 10 riders. We've just had another one come in now. Is that Ryan Cossins?
Ryan Cossins.
Ryan Cossins has just come in and
nice
jumped
work.
up to 10th place. 2 hours, 11 minutes, 54.
That is a good job, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. So now we've got 11 riders home so far. Obviously, the top, as we've already stated, is Toby Price at 1 hour 53.19. Then it's Ty Simmons, 1 hour 55.53. David Walsh, 1 hour 57.07. Damon Stokey is 1 hour 57.25. He's only just behind David Walsh. Ivan Long is in 5th position at 2 hours 53. Jacob Smith, 2 hours 1:26. He's in 6th position. Then it's Bo Rolston in 7th, 2 hours 4 minutes 24. Todd Smith is in 8th, 2 hours 8 seconds 38. Luke Hayes, 2 hours 9 minutes 14. He's in 9th position. Then, as we've just said, Ryan Cossins is 2 hours 11 minutes 54 in 10th place. Caleb Ulrich, 2 hours 13.39, and he's in 11th. And we have Nathan Trigg, 2 hours 15.30 seconds, now in 12th. He has just come home.
Yeah, Nathan Trigg, 2 hours 15.30. Great job. That's good news. So still puts that shadow over Sam Davey at the moment, wondering where he is.
So at the last checkpoint there, Sam Davey was not far behind Luke Hayes there. He was only a matter of 8 seconds at the last checkpoint, which was Mount Squires before Fink. So we hoping that he's going to get back on his bike shortly, and we will see him pop back up. Hopefully it's just a mechanical problem that he's having. But so far 12 riders home total.
Jack Simpson has just made it into Fink. Total time of 2 hours, 14 minutes and 52 seconds.
He's moved into 12th position and pushed Nathan Trigg back to 13th.
And Jake Smith, Ricky Lane, Sam Davey have all been leapfrogged by Ryan Cossins and Jake Simpson. So Mark Grove, Kent Collins and Kenny Armstead, the next expected ones to come through. Keep your eyes on that bike 497, Jerikai Andrews. See if we see something special out of him today. The last he checked in was 13:34 into Mount Squires. Let's see if he leapfrogs a few people. I've got a bit of a feeling he may do that.
So we have rider 313, Ryan Cody, that's actually come through Mount Squires. He was in the 4th group of 10 riders to leave the start this morning.
Looks like it might be that Mitch Van Vliet may be a DNF as well. Has his brother Jake there. He's not registered anything after.
And we've just had Kent Collins come through at Finken, rider 255. He has come in and finished in 14th place as the standings sit now, but that can always change, obviously, depending on when the corrected time comes through.
2 hours 16:24 is what he's registered at the moment. Can anyone get any quicker than that? Well, it'll be interesting to see through to see if they will. I reckon we start to see a little bit of a deluge of them right now, actually.
There's definitely a pack at Mount Squires, so there should be a few close together here, so it'll be interesting to see what the times come back like.
Ricky Lane has just made it into Fink, and there's a couple of other gaps that have been filled in there as well. And Ricky Lane and Jake Smith. Ricky Lane and Jake Smith. So that 2 hours 24 and 6 for Lane, 2 hours 24 and 22 for Jake Smith. So this is not looking flash. It looks very much like a DNF for Sam Davey at this stage. Unfortunately, great young kid, great attitude, and really committed to representing his brand. So we're looking around for Mark Grove at the moment as well to see when he's going to come in. Kenny Armstead should be too far off. Josh Tilbrook and Mark Sladek as well. Jerikai Andrews, I said earlier that we'd be looking for where he's coming from. You just wonder, some of these young guys like Jerikai Andrews, Megan Rutledge, how many times will they do this race? You know, we've got a couple of guys who are celebrating the 29th run. There's a handful of 25ths as well in the cars. You know, you sort of think, man, it's a phenomenal effort when you consider it like that.
So we're definitely starting to see a bit of a spread back through the field. But the top three, it seems like almost a little bit of a repeat of last year, 2015. There's a 3 KTMs at 500s up the top there. And then after the KTMs, we've got Honda. And the first KTM is actually, the first Yamaha is actually in 7th place of Bo Rolston.
They'd be... Nick Turner has just trumped a ton of people. He's come in at 2 hours 22:58. That means it puts him ahead of Ricky Lane and Jake Smith with that effort. That will put him up.
That moves him. He's in 15th place there.
That is a phenomenal effort after starting out of which grid? He was a fair way down. Maybe the 3rd grid, I would have thought. Or I beg your pardon, not the 3rd grid, as far as the 3rd group of 10, I would have thought.
Nicholas Turner.
Mark Grove has just made it into Fink as well.
Nicholas Turner was out of grid 11 at 11:40.
Yeah, that's amazing. Grid 11. And to be up there in 15th spot,
that's a big move.
That is a massive move. That's probably hard charger at the moment. If there is such an award, there probably should be. It's probably not a bad award to have in this race, I would think. Your qualifying time compared to your finishing time. So he checked in at 14:03, so 3 minutes past 2. Still waiting on Jerikai Andrews. I thought we may have seen from him by now. Can't be too far off, you would have thought. Cooper Van Vliet has just checked into Mount Squires at least, so that's one of the Van Vliet boys still going, despite the fact that it looks very much like 2 of the boys have retired. And that gaping hole for bike 9 on the Sherco Sam Davey has left that big gap as well. Mark Sladek has just checked in the Husky. Total time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, 55 seconds. So that gets him down into... Oh, have we seen Jerikai as well?
Jerikai Andrews.
Jerikai Andrews has just checked in as well.
In 2 hours, 27 and 4 seconds.
Nice work.
And he is sitting in position 21.
Still waiting on Rodney Faggoter, Megan Rutledge and Will Turner. Josh Tilbrook, Kenny Armstead, we thought would have made appearances by now. Yep, and Andrew Gillum has just checked in as well. That's impressive for Andrew Gillum. He left at 11:41, which means he came out of grid 12 to currently be sitting in 22nd spot, if I'm not mistaken. Josh Tilbrook has just made it in as well. Andrew Gillum has leapfrogged quite a few people to get that spot. Rodney Faggoter is in, Robert Armstead is in. There's a couple of gaps starting to appear now as we get towards the closer end of the journey.
That's a great run by Robert. He left on grid 13 in that run, and that's jumped him up to position 20, so he rounded out the top 20 so far.
That's impressive, a top 20 into Finke.
That's brilliant from a qualifying run to put him in that position on the grid to start.
Scott Saul has just made an appearance as well. And that is just filling that little bit of a gap up there. Just really impressed with that Robert Armstead effort there. Long way back. And also, what do we see there? No, we've seen Scott Saul. That's what we're after.
So that's 26 riders to Finke so far.
Brandon Canoose has also made it in. We missed that somewhere along the line. How did that happen? Brandon's got in, but it's for some reason missing from our official time, unless it came through earlier. Oh yeah, there he is, sitting up in 18th spot. So that one flew under the radar for us. He came in at 2:24 total time, which is not unlike that of Jake Smith, so he's done extremely well.
So that's 26 riders, and that's a pretty large spread when you look at the times. It's amazing that same track, but they can be spread out over half an hour apart.
Yeah. Kenny Armstead still failing to make any appearance there, so concerned about the reliability in situation there. Also, we've been keeping our eyes on Megan Rutledge, my co-commentator, who's down in Finke at the moment, actually. Matt Henderson was very much anticipating seeing how Megan would go. I mean, it's not like it's one of those last-ditch efforts for her. I mean, she has got so many Finkes ahead of her, there's no question about that. Megan Rutledge, Toynbee Hendricks.
So Toby's ended up coming in 2 hours, 31 minutes and 55 seconds. He's sitting in 27th at present as it stands. And Megan has come in 2 hours, 32 minutes and 53 seconds.
Fantastic job from Megan Rutledge.
That's absolutely fantastic.
The Kawasaki, the KXF 250. Man, it's just amazing. Some amazing stories emerging here at the moment as well, isn't there? Just very much concerned now. Not in a health sort of way, but just in the reliability sort of things for Kenny Armstead. That's not looking real good, is it? So Sam Davey has not checked in. Kenny Armstead's not checked in. And Will Turner is not checked in either. Into Finke.
Sort of Lloyd Woolman now on the Husqvarna. He has come in at 2 hours 33:13.
And Russ Scoble's also just come in at 2:15.
So Lloyd's sitting in position 30th for the restart tomorrow so far, and Scoble is sitting in position 28 with his time of 2 hours 32:47. We've just had a bunch that have just come in. We have Billy Barry at 2 hours 34:32. Then we have Samuel Tilbrook. He is 2 hours 35:36. And then of that group, the last one to come through was James McCarthy, at 2 hours 35:49.
Hayden Brown has just made an appearance too. So starting to fill some of these gaps throughout here. And Darren's, Ben Nicholson and the Kawasaki KX 450 has already checked in as well. So we're starting to get through there. Still really quite amazed by that effort of Robert Armstead. He is way down this list and has leapfrogged so many people.
Makes you wonder if he just didn't quite get in the groove or just had a little bit of a mishap in qualifying that put him back there. I mean, the times are so close together. I suppose it's only a couple of seconds and it can make all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing is there is that difference between just, you know, being a great endurance rider and a great sprint rider. I think that's what we've seen change over the years, is that there was almost two different disciplines. And now we're starting to see, essentially, unless there's some sort of mechanical issue, that they actually float down in that same order as the way that they're just quicker riders. And that's just the reality of it. But yeah, for him to be able to do that is really, really quite outstanding. So hopefully we get a chance to chat to him, work out who our hard charger is.
And we've got Jesse Moore here that's come into Finke, 2 hours 36:21. Currently actually has jumped up a little bit from a few people and put himself in position 35.
Yeah, left at 11:42. Big call here from Nick Ruther, who left at 11:44, which means he came out of grid, number 15? Grid number 15. He has just checked in at 2 hours 34.